What is the very first thing that appears in your mind each morning? Is it a sense of lightness or a familiar wave of anxiety? There are mornings when the body has just opened its eyes, yet the mind already feels heavy. Before you even step out of bed, you are carrying unfinished thoughts from yesterday. A word that was never explained, a worry that still has no answer, a feeling of exhaustion with no clear cause. You wake up into a new day, yet you drag along the weight of the old one. And so the day begins not with aliveness, but with unconscious reaction. We often believe that to change our life, we must change many things: our work, our circumstances, the people around us. But according to the teachings of the Buddha, deep transformation does not begin with such grand efforts. He did not teach us to fix our entire life all at once. He taught us to return to and transform the very first moment, because it is precisely in that moment, when the mind is still soft, when awareness is still open, that all seeds are planted. The morning does not only begin a day, it is quietly deciding the direction of your entire life. In the teachings of the Buddha, the morning is not just a period of time in the day. It is a special state of mind. When you have just awakened, the human mind has not yet been swept into dense streams of thought. It has not yet been dominated by work, by words, or by the frictions of the outer world. At that moment, the mind is still soft, still clear, still receptive. Buddhism refers to this as a moment very close to natural mindfulness. Mindfulness, at the beginning of the day, is not something complicated. It is simply the ability to recognize that you are alive, that you are breathing, that you are present in this moment. When the mind has not yet been polluted by anxiety and comparison, any thought that arises carries great influence. It is like a piece of soil that has just been watered. Whatever seed is planted then will take root more quickly and more deeply. In Buddhism, every thought and every silent inner word is a seed. If in the morning you plant seeds of worry, doubt, or blame, your mind will remain tense throughout the day, easily reactive and easily exhausted. Not because the day itself is bad, but because the seed was planted early. On the other hand, if in the morning you plant seeds of gratitude, calm, and trust, the mind begins to open. When the mind opens, you walk more lightly, you see life more gently, and difficulties no longer drain you as they once did. That is why the Buddha did not teach us to chase after fixing everything outside of ourselves. He taught us to return and care for the inner garden, beginning at the moment the sun rises. Therefore, what you say to yourself in the first few minutes is more important than anything you do for the rest of the day. From that understanding, there's an ancient Zen story that is often passed down each morning in meditation halls. While the sky was still pale with early mist, an old Zen master sat quietly by the temple veranda. Before him was a pot of tea still warm, thin steam rising slowly into the air. No one spoke. There were only distant birds and the steady breathing of those who were present. That silence was not empty, but filled with awareness. When the students had settled, the master slowly poured the tea and looked at each person with gentle eyes. He asked a question that seemed very simple. According to you, when is the most important moment in life? The question sounded soft, yet it left many feeling uncertain. One young student quickly answered that it was the moment of success, when effort is finally rewarded. Another reflected and said that the most important moment lies in the past, because it holds the lessons that help us grow. Yet another student declared that the future is the most important, because that is where all dreams are waiting to be fulfilled. The master listened to everything, neither nodding nor disagreeing. He simply smiled, lifted his cup of tea, took a small sip, and set it down very slowly. After a silence long enough for everyone to feel their own presence, he spoke. The most important moment in life is the very first moment when you wake up each morning. In that instant, your mind has not yet been pulled back to yesterday, nor has it rushed ahead to tomorrow. It is the moment when you are standing at a crossroads, whether you realize it or not. If your morning is unconscious, the whole day will be unconscious. If your morning is mindful, the whole day will be guided. His words were not loud, yet they fell directly into the hearts of those listening. The students suddenly understood that each dawn is not merely a habit repeated, but a silent invitation to live differently. And from that moment on, they began to learn how to awaken not only with their eyes, but with awareness in their hearts. From that story, you may begin to sense something very subtle. Each morning, whether you are aware of it or not, you are still planting something into your mind. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, what seed are you planting each morning? Is it hurry, fear, and the pressure to get everything done? Or is it softness, gratitude, and trust in the flow of life? Many people believe that to change their mind, they need to meditate for a long time, to have free time, or to completely change their current rhythm of life. But according to the spirit of the Buddha's teachings, true practice does not begin with complicated things. It begins with moments that are very small, very close, and very real. Just the first few minutes when you open your eyes, when the mind has not yet been pulled away by the world. You do not need to leave the life you are living. You do not need to become a different person. You only need to choose to speak to yourself differently in the first moments of the day. The words you silently say then will become an invisible guide for how you live the entire day. And to help you do this gently, Buddhism has passed down short phrases filled with mindful energy. Right now, I want to share with you 5 very simple morning mantras. You can speak them the moment you open your eyes, even before you step out of bed, to plant wholesome seeds for a new day to begin. Mantra 1: Gratitude for life. The first mantra you can gently say to yourself each morning is, I am grateful that today I am still alive and still have a chance to begin again. At first, this sentence may sound very simple, but in the spirit of Buddhist teachings, it is a wide doorway that brings your mind back to the living presence of life itself. Gratitude here does not mean that everything in your life is already fine. It does not mean that all problems have been resolved. It does not mean that sadness has disappeared or that the road ahead is clear. Gratitude in the Buddha's teaching begins with something very basic. You are still breathing. You are still present. And that alone is already a great miracle. There are many people who went to sleep last night but did not wake up this morning. There are many opportunities that have closed forever without us ever seeing them. When you open your eyes in the morning, it means that life is still giving you another turn, another chance to look again, to correct what can be corrected, to love, to let go of what is no longer necessary. In Buddhism, impermanence is not something to fear. Impermanence is a gentle reminder that nothing is guaranteed, not even today. Because of this, life in this very moment becomes deeply precious. When you silently speak this gratitude in the morning, your mind begins to soften. Resistance settles. You no longer begin the day with a sense of lack, but with appreciation. Try saying this mantra very slowly when you first wake up. There is no need to force yourself to feel joyful. Simply feel the breath moving in and out and remind yourself that you are still here. From that small moment of gratitude, your entire day begins to shift in a different direction, gentler and more meaningful. Mantra 2: Letting go of hurry. After the mind has touched the gratitude of simply being alive, the second mantra helps you adjust your inner rhythm. Today, I choose calm. I do not run away from life. This is not a rejection of responsibility, but a reminder to step into the day with a different inner posture. We live in a world that worships speed. Faster is seen as better. Busyness is seen as more valuable. From the moment they open their eyes, many people already feel as if they are falling behind life. So they rush to get up, rush to think, rush to worry, as if slowing down for even a moment means being left behind. But the Buddha did not teach people to live fast. He taught people to live awake. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not measured by how many things you do in a day, but by how you are present in each thing you do. A hurried mind is not because life is moving too quickly, but because there is fear inside that does not want to be faced. When you silently say that you are not running away from life, you are allowing yourself to stay fully with what is present, whether it feels pleasant or difficult. Calm is not weakness. Calm is a very deep strength. It is the ability to remain steady within movement without being swept away. When you begin the day with calm, you no longer react out of habit. You know how to pause, how to breathe, how to listen to yourself before chasing the noise outside. Try saying this mantra in the morning when you feel pressured. Say it slowly, say it clearly, and feel your body soften. When hurry falls away, you will realize that you have not become slower. You are simply moving in the right rhythm. And from that rhythm, your entire day becomes lighter, clearer, and more grounded. Mantra 3. Self-worth. When your inner rhythm has softened, the third mantra guides you deeper into a very sensitive area of the mind. I am worthy of peace, love, and abundance. Many people find it difficult to say these words, not because they do not understand them, but because deep inside they have become accustomed to doubting themselves. Among the many forms of suffering that people carry, the feeling of lack often does not come from outer circumstances, but from self-denial. You may have everything, yet if you still believe that you are unworthy, the mind will always feel empty. You will try harder, give more, endure more, all in order to be recognized. And the more you do this, the further you move away from yourself. In the spirit of Buddhist teaching, recognizing your own worth is not meant to place you above others, not to compare, and not to elevate yourself over anyone. The Buddha did not teach people to love themselves by becoming special. He taught people to stop turning away from themselves. When you no longer resist your own presence, peace begins to arise naturally. Saying this mantra in the morning does not mean that you must believe it immediately. You only need to be willing to listen to it. When you silently remind yourself that you are worthy of love, you are giving your mind a chance to rest from constant judgment. You do not need to be perfect to deserve peace. You do not need to prove anything to be enough. Say this mantra with gentleness, as if you were speaking to a friend who has been tired for a very long time. Each time you repeat it, a layer of self-doubt softens, and when you no longer turn away from yourself, the energy of life begins to return. From that point on, peace and love are no longer things you must seek outside, but qualities that are slowly reawakened from within. Mantra 4. Breathe and connection. When you have touched your own worth, the fourth mantra invites you to return to what is always present yet often forgotten. Each breath brings me back to life. In the teachings of the Buddha, the breath is not merely a biological reflex. The breath is a very thin yet steady bridge between body and mind, between presence and being lost. Many times throughout the day, your body is here while your mind has gone far away. It runs back to old memories, regrets, unfinished stories, or it rushes forward into the future with worries, predictions, and fear. When the mind travels like this, you may still be alive, but you are not truly experiencing life. The Buddha taught that simply by returning to the breath, you are no longer lost. The breath always happens in the present. You cannot breathe in the past, and you cannot breathe in the future. Each time you recognize an in-breath and an out-breath, your mind is brought back to what is happening now. This is mindfulness. There is no need to think much, no need to analyze. Just know that you are breathing. When you speak this mantra in the morning, let it move together with your actual breathing. As you inhale, you know you are inhaling. As you exhale, you know you are exhaling. In that moment, tension begins to dissolve. The body softens, the mind settles. You are no longer pulled by the stories in your head. The breath does not solve every problem in your life, but it brings you back to the right place to meet everything with greater clarity. Each time you return to the breath, you are reconnecting with the thread of life flowing through you. And from that connection, mindfulness gradually becomes a steady foundation for the day that lies ahead. Mantra 5. Gratitude as guidance. When the breath has brought you back to the life flowing through each moment, The fifth mantra completes the morning practice with a very deep orientation. I walk in gratitude, and life opens the way. This is not a promise that everything will become easy, but a reminder of how you choose to enter this life. Gratitude does not instantly change the outer world. It does not erase difficulties, prevent loss, or guarantee that everything will unfold according to your wishes. But in the Buddha's teaching, gratitude has the power to change something far more important. It changes the way you walk through the world. When you walk with a grateful mind, you no longer move with resistance or resentment. You move with acceptance and awareness. A grateful mind is not a mind that gives up. It is a mind that has stopped struggling against reality. When you no longer waste energy fighting what is, you gain more strength to act wisely. Doors in life do not open because you demand that they open. They open when your mind is wide enough to recognize the path that is already present. Saying this mantra in the morning means choosing to move through the day with a different attitude. No matter what happens today, you keep an inner anchor within yourself. Each step is no longer a hurried reaction, but a conscious choice. When you walk this way, what once seemed blocked begins to reveal small openings. Relationships soften. Difficult situations no longer cause you to close in on yourself. This mantra is the distillation of the four that came before it. From gratitude for life, letting go of hurry, recognizing your worth, and returning to the breath, you learn how to walk more fully. And when you walk in gratitude, life does not need to change for you to be at peace. Your way of being has become the path. After moving through the 5 mantras, this is the moment to not only listen with your ears, but to allow your whole body and mind to participate. This morning ritual is very simple, yet if you truly practice it, it will become a familiar anchor in your day. Right now, or each morning when you first wake up, place one hand gently over your heart. There is no need to hurry. Simply feel the warmth beneath your palm. That steady rhythm is a clear sign that you are still here, still alive, still being carried by the life you sometimes forget. Keep your hand there and begin 3 slow breaths. Breathe in softly without forcing it to be deep. Breathe out long and gentle, as if you are allowing your body to soften just a little. The first breath helps you recognize that you are present. The second breath allows the mind to begin settling. The third breath brings you fully into this moment. There is nothing to adjust. Just know that you are breathing. After the 3 breaths, quietly whisper simple words of gratitude within yourself. Thank you for this new day. Thank you that this body still has the strength to carry me. Thank you for another chance to live more slowly, more mindfully, and more gently with myself. There is no need to speak aloud. No need for perfect words. Just let your mind truly touch the feeling of gratitude. When you are finished, remain in silence for a few seconds. Do not think. Do not plan. Simply stay. This silence is not empty. It is the space where the 5 mantras can settle and blend into your energy. If you practice this ritual every day, even for just a few minutes, your mind will gradually learn to begin the morning with presence. And once you taste that feeling, you will want to return, not out of habit, but because you recognize that you are truly being nourished from within. When you look back over the whole journey you have just taken, you may begin to see one very important truth clearly. The morning is not only the opening of a day, but the quiet root of the direction of your entire life. The way you wake up, the way you breathe, the way you speak to yourself in those first moments. All of these are planting seeds that you will harvest at the end of the day, the end of the month, and even the end of your life. In the spirit of the Buddha's teaching, nothing happens by accident. Whatever seed is planted will grow. If in the morning you plant anxiety, hurry, and self-denial, then the entire day will carry that color. But if you plant gratitude, calm, and mindfulness, then no matter what the outer circumstances may be, there is still a steady refuge within you. These 5 mantras are not meant to make your life perfect. They simply help you begin the day from a deeper and more honest place. If one of the 5 mantras we shared touched you most deeply, feel free to share it in the comments. Naming what touches you is also a way of nourishing mindfulness. If you find these morning practices helpful, in the next video we will explore more deeply how to carry that peace throughout the entire day, even when facing pressure and difficulty. Each sunrise is an invitation, not to rush into living again, but to awaken and live more deeply.